Hey guys, I got a new kind of video for the channel today. I'm going to be cooking idlis. Idlis are a kind of rice cake from India. And I'm also going to be making chutney, which is a spicy tomato paste, also from India. And they go really well together for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snacks. It's one of my favorite things to eat. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. The first thing I'm going to do is chop up this whole onion. Make sure you peel it and you wash it. And it can be cut into medium pieces. Now I'm going to cut some tomatoes. I have 7 medium-sized tomatoes here that I'll be cutting. Next I'm going to cut 3 cloves of garlic. And because this is a spicy tomato paste, I will be cutting up 2 green peppers. Now, I normally like red peppers, but this is all they have at the store, so I'll have to make do with it. Right, so now that I've finished chopping up all my vegetables, I can now put it in a pan and saute it. So I've got a pan here with 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and I'm going to slowly add the tomatoes and onions, all the stuff that I chopped up. Now, this looks like a lot, like it's going to overflow out of the pan. However, these vegetables are made out of, they're comprised of a lot of water. So once we heat this up, the water is going to evaporate, so it'll kind of wither up and it'll become a lot smaller. So we're going to set the cooking range to medium heat, and we're going to saute it until the consistency becomes kind of thick. So the chutney mix has been cooking now for about 20 minutes, and it's thick now, which means I'm ready to take it off the flame. And while that cools, I'm going to show you guys how to make the idlis, which are the rice cakes. Right, so make idlis requires some special utensils. We've got a regular pot filled with water here. And then we're going to take this pot with holes at the bottom and stack it on top of the pot with water. Then we're going to take these flying saucer looking molds. This is where the idli batter goes, and that's how it gets its round shape. And we're going to stack them on top of each other. Okay? So we're going to take this one, stack. Take this one, stack. And then we're going to grab it by the top and place it inside the pot with the holes. That way, when we boil the water down here, steam comes up and it cooks the idli batter up here. So the first step in making the idlis is spraying the flying saucer molds with nonstick oil, like this, just a little bit. And it's important to do this, that way it's easier to ease the cooked idli out of the mold when it's done. It won't stick to this flying saucer and disintegrate. And I'm going to repeat that process for the other 2 flying saucer molds. Right, so what I'm going to do now is put the batter into the molds. Now, this tray is inherently unstable, so I need to put the batter in opposite sides of the tray. That way the tray doesn't tilt or fall to one side. So I'm going to take this, a full spoon of batter, put it in one side, one mold, maybe a little more so that the batter is flush with the top of the tray. So it fills the whole mold like that. And then now I'm going to go to the opposite side and put about the same amount. Like that. And I'm going to do it for these two sides here. Like that. And now I'm going to leave this tray to the side. I'm going to repeat the process for the other two trays. Oh, and it is worth mentioning you can't really buy this Idli batter at a regular HEB or grocery store. You have to go to a South Asian grocery store, and those are the only places that carry it. Now that I've filled all the molds, it's time to stack them. So I'm going to put these carefully. And it's okay if a little bit of the Idli batter spills over out of the mold. It's okay. I'm going to take that. So after a bit of finagling, I was able to get it fit. It didn't fit in the first time, that's why I had to stop the video, but I was able to get it. It all fits now, so I can cover it up with the lid like that. And then I'm going to move it. To the cooking range and put it on high heat and let it boil for 45 minutes. So while those idlis are boiling, I'm going to continue making the chutney. So here's what we sauteed. It's cooled now while I was putting the idli in the mold. So I'm going to put it in the blender using a spoon. Okay, so once you've got all the chutney in the blender, put the lid on. Obviously, make sure that's secure. Put it on your blender. And you'll want to use a setting like puree. And then run the blender until the chutney has become thick, but more like a liquid. One thing I should also add, I ran into this problem. If the chutney is too thick, you can add some water from the tap, and that'll make it easier to blend. I've had this on the blender for about 3 minutes straight, and I think it's ready to taste. Let me try it. Yes, 3 minutes should be good. And as you can see, it's more like a paste than a solid, but it's not completely liquid either. Well, we're on the home stretch now. It's time to take the idlis out. So what you do is you take your knife, kind of pry it into the mold, kind of move it around the perimeter of the circle until the idli pops out. Whoops. And then take it and put it in the container. And here's the finished product, idli and chutney. Now you can eat this with your hands by mashing it up, or just tearing a piece of the idli and dipping it in the chutney, or you can eat it with a spoon. However you want to do it, it's delicious. Thank you so much for watching.